Parking, the bane of my life. Over the years, I've had numerous bad experiences with mobility parks. Reporter Dan Buckingham decided it was time to take the matter up formally.
There's not too many things I see as obstacles in my life. And I probably tend to reinforce the stereotype that people in wheelchairs are a little too stubborn for their own good.
I'm a pretty positive guy. I like to make the most out of life.
However, there's one thing that really gets to me, and that's how hard it can be to get from A to B.
If it looks like hard work, well, it is. But you get pretty good at this when you're doing it 3 or 4 times a day. Well, actually, it's not the journey that is the problem. It's what do I do when I get there?
It's 8:30 in the morning, and I've already been and gone to the gym. Looks like I'm going to be on work on time. If only I could find a park. Now there's a space, but it's far too narrow for me to pull into and be able to open my door wide enough to get my chair out.
Finally, a park.
Well, I've found a space. The only trouble is it's 2 kilometres from where I work.
It's the only disability park anywhere near our office. We've been to the council twice asking for even one car park close to us to cater for the 5 wheelchair users that work on Attitude. And it's not just 2k, it's across 2 major arterial routes and up and down a seriously huge hill. Mobility parks tend to get a lot of press. They are recognised as one of the perks of having a disability. But the reality is, they are a necessity. If I need to get somewhere, like work, I need to be able to get out of my car. No one's noticed I'm late. I wouldn't bring this up if there wasn't a real problem here. And it's not just an issue for me. This affects thousands of people with a disability who work. Susan Sherrard works for CCS Disability Action, which lobbied the government for a change in parking legislation, an issue that's fundamental to the 92,000 New Zealanders with mobility car permits.
Yeah, the seemingly obvious are things like widened car parks and proximity to the doorway and those sorts of things. But the other things are more about accessing the community and being fully included. I mean, as I say, I can't use other car parks, so it's not just a convenience for me, it's actually a necessity for me. And once I've got that car park, then I can get around and do the things that I do my shopping, do my banking, go to work, do my job, pick up my child from daycare. All of those sorts of things mean that I'm part of the community, and yeah, that's about being included.
Included, whatever the occasion.
I've got a bit of a moan of my own. I've just been to this function here in the city, and I'm unable to find a park. Look over here, there are hundreds behind me, and I've just had to park in a loading zone.
CCS Disability Action has made a breakthrough this year.
Thank goodness, no ticket.
We've got a change in the Parking Act so that mobility parking is now separate from the general parking. And what this means is that fines have been able to be increased from $40 to $150 for people who misuse the mobility parks. So we're really pleased about that.
In Wellington, they have a mobility parking policy put together in conjunction with disability groups. This aims to increase mobility car parks in the Wellington CBD from 0.5% to 2% in the next 3 years. The council is on track with their goal. Other city councils hover around similar figures, though Whangarei stands out with 2% of parks already dedicated to mobility parking. In Auckland, only 0.5% of CBD car parks are reserved for people with disabilities.
So what can I do about this in my new city? Well, I've got myself an interview with the chairman of the Transport Committee.
The number of mobility car parks the council sets aside reflects the value they place upon people with a disability.
Well, we've got over 170 mobility or restricted parking zones, and I think there's we've got just under 60 within the CBD, and in addition to that there are mobility parks within the